Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we have a major update on the Young Bucks AEW status.
Manarao is set for a major change.
Ronda Rousey is not expected to make a full-time return.
And backstage plans for an upcoming WWE Stable War. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news with a broken screen.
Hey, we're going to kick this one by talking about... that was not a sentence. We're going to begin by talking about the Young Bucks.
Of course.
Right? Because people are talking, because Brandon Cutler did a little tweet yesterday, and I didn't know what to make of it, but there's been a report on it since then. So if you missed it, obviously the Young Bucks lost to the Golden Jets at Full Gear this weekend. And as a result, they lost their tag team title shot. They took another temper tantrum afterwards.
Smash the place up.
I'm so upset I couldn't win a match. It's good character stuff, isn't it? Petulant little brats. It's good character stuff.
Yeah. Works better when they're heels. Why do you have torch on? Sorry.
Yeah, you're kind of blinding me over here, brother. Brandon Cutler tweeted after that, of course, the executive stooge. Saying, he tweeted this like he's a reporter.
Yeah.
I'm being told that the Young Bucks will be taking some time away from wrestling. People close to Matt and Nick's camp are asking for privacy during this time. So obviously the way that's phrased makes it seem like something's bad's happened. Maybe it has, who knows? And if it has, best wishes to them.
Yeah.
But it worked me a little bit because I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? But Fightful Select have since come through with a report insinuating that this is actually part of a plan.
Yeah.
Matt and Nick they're getting a change in presentation on AEW. They are going full heel. You could argue that they already have, and it's certainly been teased for several months. But yeah, they're going to be heel, and they're not going to be alone either. Cutler is going to be involved with them, and he's actually going to be doing the majority of their on-screen speaking and on social media, which is interesting approach. And there's going to be at least one other personality with them as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they turn someone fresh.
Maybe we'll pick someone in a second.
Yeah, maybe we will. Or if it'll be someone from the Elite. I don't know. We'll see what happens with regards to that. But yeah, Cutler's going to be handling some talking for them. There's going to be some changes, recent changes to being the Elite are part of all of this as well. I understand I don't follow the show because it doesn't click with me. But I think they had a break recently.
Yes, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's still ongoing. Probably should know that. However, just to clear things up, as far as the Bucks' relationship with AEW goes, things are fine. They obviously re-signed with the company earlier this year, multi-year extensions, and retained their roles as EVPs. No word on how long they will be away for, but it sounds like there's a plan.
Yeah, I got a little bit worked by this myself last night because I saw it like you said, Andy, and I was like, uh-oh, and then I saw who tweeted and I went, wait a second. Bit boy who cried wolf with the Young Bucks. Obviously, if it is serious, like you say, we hope they're all right, but it does feel like this is part of an angle. I don't think they necessarily need to turn heel anymore. Their last two matches have featured, I think, a minimum of 4 dick kicks.
Yeah.
So,
they do be loving a dick kick.
yeah, but it'll be intriguing to see how this dynamic's going to work, like you say, with Cutler talking for them. There was a brief moment in the match against the Golden Jets where it looked like Kenny Omega might be joining them on the dark side.
Has he been curious?
But he did a very clever, I'm going to bounce off both ropes and then still V-trigger one of the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I much prefer, I said this prior to Full Gear, I much prefer heel Young Bucks. They just seem to have a lot more fun with it.
Yeah.
And it has felt like they need a fresh direction. I was surprised, I've got to be honest, that they lost their title shot, but considering who the champions are, it does make sense. They have a babyface team with the number one contender shot. But yeah, exciting to see what the Young Bucks come back as. Arseholes, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're really good in that role. But let us know down below. What do you think? Do you think Young Bucks maybe need a little time away? Who do you think should join them in this group as well? Here's our answers. It's probably not. Always we seem to get like Lee Johnson or Mercedes Martinez. So no disrespect to those people. I think they're both great, but let's get someone different this time. Adam Copeland. Okay.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh, all right.
Jesus.
He's just joined the Callis family. That's not happening, but yeah, fun.
Let us know who you think you're going to join them in the comments. And we'll move on to Mananara. Big changes happening in terms of the music they hear at the start of the show. Obviously, for a long while, it's been Vo Williams' Greatness. That's been going on since 22nd of November 2021. And they could
What happened to you there?
I couldn't remember what year it was. Fightful Select reporting that the market-leading promotion could potentially change the intro track. Not 100% certain, but more than likely it's going to happen soon. Def Rebel, WWE's in-house team, will be doing it. They're the ones who do the SmackDown Nobody's Better Than Me theme. I am still here campaigning for the return of Nickelback.
A sentence nobody said, not even Chad Kroger.
Well, especially not now they're lead singers in AEW, so, you know.
He's been there for a while as well.
Love you, Jerry Lynn. No offense, obviously, it's just a thing from TNA.
I think it's a good time for a new feud.
Yeah.
We've had the current one for 2 years. Personally, I hope they go back to the old one when I was a kid, when it was Why not?
I've seen so many of those, remakes of the classic Raw theme, but with current wrestlers cut over it, that I'm kind of into it. But I don't know legally where they are in terms of copyright, etc., etc. And WWE, as always, seem to go, let's just get our in-house team to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, so there's been a few licensed ones over the years. Obviously, Nickelback, Union Underground,
Marilyn Manson.
Probably can't use him these days. They used AC/DC for SmackDown for
Yes!
ages as well. So hey, we'll
Forgot
see.
about that.
Yeah, are you ready for a good time? Yeah, every week, man.
They should just get, I think, it makes sense. Just they've got a lot of money now. I know they're reticent to spend it. Just go big, get the greatest artists in the entire world to do it. Let's have Pitbull doing the Raw theme.
Jeezy peeps. So you certainly aren't going to get the Beatles to do it, are you? No riffs.
No riffs.
You need at least one riff for a wrestling feud.
Oh, good. The Young Bucks and the Beatles. We're going to have a fun comment
Oh,
section.
gee whiz. Do you see that? You seen that new Beatles song?
I haven't listened to it.
Bloody hell. You wait 60 years and you still haven't learned that riff. No mosh parts. Awful. Let's move on. Swiftly.
Quickly, yeah.
Speaking of fun comment sections, let's talk about Ronda Rousey for a
Oh,
bit.
joy.
To be fair, she said some disgusting stuff.
Fair.
So it's kind of fair. But look, we've spoken about Ronda quite a lot recently, so we'll keep this one brief because there's not a whole lot to it. But obviously, she's been making appearances all over the place. Wrestling Revolver, Lucha Vavavoom, Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Tapings, of course.
That surprised me.
Bunch of speculation. AEW hasn't signed her. I spoke about that yesterday. Tony Khan has confirmed that. But Dave Meltzer has reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that Ronda isn't expected to make a full-time commitment to wrestling either. She left wrestling for family reasons, and as a result, it would be a surprise if she went somewhere full-time. Obviously, her and Travis Brown, they welcomed their first child.
Lovely.
Am I right?
I believe so.
Yeah, to the world, not too long ago. Before her WWE comeback, of course.
Was it an impregnation vacation they went on ages
That's
ago?
right. That's a good turn of phrase. That being said, AEW would absolutely use her if they could. So yeah, there you go.
I think she's done a great job of rehabilitating her wrestling image recently. Like you say, getting dropped on your head by Billy Starks kind of helps that match. Kicked out, just chucking people all over the place. And then, like you say, my jaw was on the floor when it was like, oh, she's just working a Ring of Honor taping randomly.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of keeping her as a sort of special attraction sort of thing. I think that was part of the reason why it all fell apart in WWE. Not the main reason, but I think it just got a bit like initially it was like, oh my God, Ronda Rousey's working WrestleMania. And then it was just like, oh, Ronda Rousey's on Raw again this week.
Yeah.
So I think that element of it, keep her for big things. You know, maybe she'll work World's End. Who knows? I'm just speculating on my behalf. But I think that works best for her, especially with a family as well.
Yeah, I think she definitely is the kind of performer who, at this stage, probably works best as maybe you see her 2 or 3 times a year. She comes in, she kicks some ass. I looked at the clips from the Wrestling Revolver. I've not seen the full match, but the clips looked awesome. Yeah. So she took a freak bump on her neck. I'm glad she's okay. But yeah, complicated individual for sure. But the recent wrestling stuff looked really good. WWE run wasn't so great recently, but we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what has been great in WWE recently. The problems within the LWO. Me and Hamlet have been banging on about this on the SmackDown previews and reviews, WhatCulture Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from, talking about the impending turn of Santos Escobar. That obviously happened in the fallout from Crown Jewel, and then he said he wished that Ray would have to have his leg amputated on SmackDown, which was...
Bit much.
Yeah, but I loved it. We'll talk more about it a little bit later on today. But more developments with that war. Obviously, Rey Mysterio has taken some time off for a legit injury, which I think is going to work really well in the Santos Escobar character. And he got very angry at Zelina Vega and Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde on SmackDown. So maybe they aren't going to be part of a new stable. Who could be? 2 people who've been down in NXT for a while. Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo.
Big Bertie.
Los Lotharios. They've been doing weird stuff in NXT, I think it's fair to say, but Wrestling Observer Radio have speculated as to whether, or Dave Meltzer actually reporting on the fact that they could be joining forces with Escobar, although they could be joining Mysterio. We don't really know, but they are going to be involved in this LWO faction war thing. As well as that, WWE got big plans for Dragon Lee as well, including a program that will see the mask star in a significant endorsement from Mysterio. They've just been doing good stuff with Dragon Lee recently, just putting him in great matches. He's worked a couple against Cedric Alexander. He did another great match on SmackDown just this last week as well. They clearly are a big fan of his, and I am as well, but I just love the LWO stuff. I know some people say, oh, more faction warfare stuff, but I mean, it's Triple H's thing right now.
Yeah, and it's good. If it's good, who cares,
yes.
right? Like, I don't understand just hating a thing because it's a thing. If the thing
yes.
if the thing is bad, hate it. But this is good.
Oh, so. No more football at the weekend. I love football.
Yeah, absolutely. But people are...
Except when we can't defend against Southend United, apparently.
Unlucky. This is interesting. Dragon Lee, like, it's really simple. You just make him have a good match every week.
Yes.
Like, it's not hard getting good wrestlers over sometimes. And, like, if Los Lotharios are doing more, I'm quite happy with that because they're very talented.
Great workers, yeah.
And the tag team hasn't really been much of a thing. So, yeah, I'm on board with all of this. I think that everyone involved in this storyline, from the people who are currently involved in it to the people who are rumoured, are excellent.
Yeah.
So... how can I be mad at that?
Yeah, and my sources, obviously I've got mine within AEW and WWE.
Birds.
Big plans for Dragon Lee. They've confirmed that. They say either he's going to do what they've suggested with LWO, Rey Mysterio endorsement, or tag team with either his brother Wes down in NXT or Brocco. Let's move on to your Twitter questions. What culture WWE?
I don't really know what that is, but it sounds funny.
It goes apparently works very well with a Sunday roast. So there you go.
Oh God, what that? Now
Got
I feel
him good.
Jesus.
Tully Television starts us off with the Twitter.
It's like kids' TV or something. You are a piece of shit.
Tully Television starts us off with today's questions.
Nicholas.
So, Legends, does the total meltdown of Damage Control happen at War Games? Also, I think if it's too early on a Monday. Iconics were still around, they'd have done well interacting with Damage Control. That would have been fun, to be fair. But yeah, Bayley is looking more and more. Hey guys, what's going on over there?
Yeah, she feels increasingly like an outsider in her own group, doesn't it? Could definitely see a split where why have I forgotten wrestlers' names? Dakota Kai perhaps ends up with Bayley, and then of course Asuka, Kairi, and Io maybe are just kicking ass as a trio. Yeah, I think it'd be good. I'm also ready to see Bayley do something a bit new.
Yeah.
Look, she's been great as a heel at various points, pre and post injury.
How long's it been?
Like 4 years, 5 years, something like that now. So. Something new would be good. Let's do it.
Yeah, in many ways, I wish the pandemic would return so we could have Bayley's face all of those computer screens and not a live crowd.
The classic angle.
I am an idiot. But I think if I was a betting man right now, especially with the addition, by the way, love this, of Becky Lynch to the babyface team at War Games, I think Bayley's taking the pin, and I think Damage Control, maybe not on the night, but certainly in the fallout afterwards, are going to look at Bayley and be like, yeah, thanks for leading the group. You kind of suck now. And I did like the tease they did on SmackDown where, like, someone in this ring isn't a member of Damage Control. Oh, we even give you a t-shirt, Asuka. Very good. Yeah. Very good. Kid Icarus gives us our next question of the day. Cheers. Is Swerve a must-crown champion in 2024 for you guys? I feel like it's can't miss, but then they never put the belt on Kingston when the time is right. Yeah, so is it possible they miss it with Swerve this time? It's
always possible the wrestling companies miss people when they're getting super hot and charging up the card. It's wrestling. It happens, unfortunately. Yeah, I've pinpointed Swerve. Not that I pinpointed, loads of people did.
No, you called it early though.
But I think this guy's been a future world champion for years and years. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can't do, and obviously he's just had probably the best match and the biggest one of his career at Full Gear. So this would be the time to elevate him. I said on the video yesterday, I would put him in the Continental Classic, and I would have him go undefeated and win. I think him having the Triple Crown or whatever is going on with the new title.
Yes.
Do we need a new title?
And he's putting all the belts on the line, but in theory, if someone pins him earlier on in the, I don't know.
They could win it, and then there's a new one for some reason, and it's complicated because the New Japan title, Strong, belongs to a different company. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. I'm stupid.
It feels like it didn't Continental Class. It didn't need it, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Yeah, but I would love to see Swerve elevated even further. Does he need to be a world champion in 2024? Maybe he can just take the next step and get to the world title later. But I'm not going to complain if it happens. I think he's great.
Yeah, I would put the world title on him in 2024. I think, obviously, that death match was a wild old affair. We were reviewing it later on today, live on our YouTube channel. So do join us for that
Podcast channel, baby.
WhatCulture Wrestling podcast on YouTube, available as a podcast immediately afterwards as well. But yeah, I think strike while the iron's hot. I don't know. They'd have to do something really bad with him for him to cool off in sufficient time before they put the belt on him. But who knows? Maybe he's pushed himself to the front of the queue for World's End. Obviously, Samoa Joe's got his title shot, but I don't know. I feel like Swerve's such a brilliant bastard, and I think Prince Nana might have had the greatest wrestling entrance of all time at the pay-per-view.
Top one, certainly.
What do you think? I saw someone call them the Nana-ettes. And I was
nice.
like,
nicely done.
More of that sort of thing. But yeah, let's go. And I don't know what's going on with the Continental Classic, but I like the people that are in it already.
Me too.
John Harrison gives us our final question of the day. Cheers, John, as always. Good Monday, boys, says John. On a scale of 1 to dropping an elbow on a suit jacket, what are the chances of Ric Flair screwing Sting in his final match? Have a great day. Peace and love. At least you got the shoes right, brother.
Yeah, Ric Flair should absolutely screw Sting at some point. I don't know if it needs to be his final match.
No, that would be his final match. He settled their one-on-one match for Evolution.
There you go, the classic.
Did he teach someone Jay Lethal as well?
He's an idiot.
And Jarrett.
He's an idiot and probably a criminal, allegedly. Yeah, he should screw him at some point for the crack, right?
Yeah.
It's Ric Flair and Sting. He should do it. I think the final match, he should keep it really simple and Sting should just ride off into the sunset.
Yes.
Do it before then. But yeah, he should absolutely turn on him. It's banter. It's fun.
It is the law of Sting, isn't it? Like, you need one more. Well, you're my best friend. I can't see how this can go wrong. Oh no, you've turned on me. I never saw this coming. When will you learn, Sting? You're like 60 somewhat. Come on, mate. But yeah, I wouldn't have it be in his final match, and I certainly wouldn't have it leading to his final match. But yeah, it's Ric Flair, it's in his nature, and it's sort of Sting's destiny. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's something you can put your money on. Tell you what else you can put your money on. This video being bloody great.
Ice cream flavors.